Hi everyone, Darren Varappa here. This is the campaign that has my niche a buzz. Some of you may have probably already heard of it. Everyone is talking because Facebook ads usually at best gives an ROI of 10x. Well, this one went slightly above, and because Frank Kern is actually, if you know who that is, he's saying that he spends about $2,000 to acquire a new client. A lot of other gurus are telling the best consultants that's how much it costs as well. Some of them saying that it's now costing $3,000 to $4,000 to get a new client on Facebook. And the ads I'm about to show you generated those types of clients for $250 only, and it was all thanks to one big mistake. Yeah, really, here is what actually happened. A few years ago, Bill, a close friend of mine, told me that Frank Kern said it should only cost $250 to get a new client on Facebook. So I took that as gospel. What I was not paying much attention to was that it was getting super competitive on Facebook. There was a lot of information freely available, and competitors in all industries were competing viciously for customers and clients. I mean, it can get really depressing if you're trying to do this right now. I'm not making this up. I had a woman coach once, and well, during one of our sessions, she swore, cried, and then swore again. I shouldn't laugh, but she was falling apart because she was falling apart. It is vicious and costly right now, and extremely frustrating out there. For all you know, it is so overcomplicated that most business owners don't even know if they are in fact doing the right thing or not. And here I was in my own little bubble thinking that it was only supposed to cost $250. So I would stay up all night figuring out how to lower costs, and I'm going to show you my unique ad formula. That reduces customer acquisition cost to that level. It took tens of thousands. I took tens of thousands of dollars of training from the best Facebook marketers to get to this. And if it cost me $400 to get a client at the time, I would lose it. I would beat myself up and work really hard to get it down to, well, you've guessed it, $250, because I did not know any better. And those lost hours, that frustration, the hard toil, that made me good. Some will tell you even great. One of the best internet marketers on the planet actually approached me to teach this sort of marketing to his best internet marketers. And I'm not saying this to sound arrogant or to be arrogant. It's the last thing on my mind. But I do want to impress upon you that this is doable, that this actually happens, that this level of success is what's actually happening right now. Oh, and I'm also going to show you the actual ad that did the 1067%. By the way, 4 months later, the campaign still makes money and generates testimonials, and we're not spending a dollar in advertising, and haven't in months actually. So that's 1067% is probably bigger now. I'd reckon it's probably around 1300% or 1400%, but I haven't measured lately. And I forgot to mention that initially this campaign was losing money. Yep, we took an ad that was losing money, not a lot, but it was, and we made it churn out this sort of profit. The ad did not fatigue either for the longest time. This ad ran from February till October. So a lot of people are saying that ads fatigue on Facebook. But if you do the right thing, it does fatigue, but it takes a long time. I mean, this is one ad that took probably, I don't know, half an hour to create or an hour to create this particular ad, but I'm going to show you why the process actually takes a bit longer than that. But the actual ad itself probably took about an hour, and the ad run for, what is that, 8 months? I think that's February till October, something like that. And I will probably flog it again next year. After showing the ad, I will explain to you how I think I'm getting ahead of my slides there. So after I show you the ad, I will explain to you why such an anonymous looking thing packed such a devastating psychological uppercut, why it was shared and spread like wildfire among the best prospects I could actually hope for. These were dream clients, and their friends were telling them that it was the hottest thing since sliced bread. Please do not skip a second of what follows. It is very important. I don't know how long I can have this video up, and the material is extremely important for you to understand and unique in many ways, because that is the part that you can then take to your own business and make it work, which is why you are here, right? You want something you can take action upon, something you can do to take your business to where it seems difficult to reach right now maybe. But before we do all that, let me explain my advanced disruption marketing tactic. Okay, it's a bit of a mouthful, but you're going to love this. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you my killer ad. Besides The reason behind those disruption tactics is really simple. Most business owners think that prospects are just gagging to hear from them. I mean, I've been like this before as well. I create this huge product and this huge new services, exciting services. And I get all excited, and I think everyone's excited to read my pitches. No way. I mean, they don't. Business owners don't understand that their best prospects are usually tired, exhausted after a long day at work, probably brain dead doing paperwork at night, which is when most opt-ins actually happen, or bored with work and vegetating online, maybe looking for yet another way to procrastinate and do something else. I mean, they need to be jarred out of that stupor to act. Enter advanced disruption marketing tactics. By the way, these are evergreen, so really well worth investing time into. Why advanced disruption? Because most professional advisors already do a semi-decent job at this, but I'm going to show you how to beat them. Let me show you the innocent looking ad that did 1067%, but it packs a punch. Now, I'm no graphic designer, as you can probably tell, and I suck at a whole bunch of things you really don't want to know. In fact, the only thing I was ever any good at, I think naturally, was copy. I had sort of a natural talent for that. Something I don't usually like to admit, that I'm not good at much else. And a lot of ads make bold claims and don't get any clicks. We've all seen them too. So let me tell you how a below average graphic designer like me gets 4% click-through rates and gets successful campaigns like this going. If you think of Facebook, it is blue, black, and white with a few routine looking pictures. So if I stuck something big and yellow in front of my perfect customers, happily dozing away, I get their attention. I wake them up. That increased click-through rate. I thought to make the yellow stand out more, I added a black background, which made the contrast even bolder. Let's have a quick look at that ad again. So you can see the black background there and the yellow, so that will pop out. Again, this increase the click-through. Now, a graphic designer can probably do all this for you for $5 on Elance, or you can use canva.com, which is what I used because it is click and drag. And I mean, you could watch a 4-year-old do it simple. I've actually had my 5-year-old design some ads for me on Canva because it's kind of fun to muck around with the pictures. But anyway, the other thing I did was to use different associations. I mean, what does instant coffee have to do with emails? If you look at the copy on the ad, okay, these email and ads are good to go, like instant coffee, just add milk. So again, once I did that, it disrupted their thinking. For example, if I had written about good copy headlines, that's just too normal. That's what they expect. To disrupt the slumber, bam, I need associations they have never heard of. Ergo, instant coffee meets email marketing. The rest of the ad copy is quite disruptive. Again, there is a sense of urgency. Now, from zero to hero, where's the ad? Let's bring back the ad. Let's have a look. So you can see at the top there, it says from zero sales to booked out, sought after by investors. The word now. I mean, it's highly motivating. It's highly pushing. It's really pushing them to take action now. And all that adds up to increasing the click-through rate. It's pointing towards taking action. It's disrupting your lethargy, I think is the right way to pronounce that, and to do something. The other thing worth noting is that if I offered something useful, that would work better. Not too many marketers offering email templates out there. Something new again disruptive. If you've forgotten, here it is. I'm actually offering email templates. One word of caution, I did not go 80s neon bright pink, so you still need to keep things looking professional. I mean, disruption up to a certain limit, of course. You do need to keep things, looking decent out there, and you can't just look bright pink, which would disrupt them, but not in a very good way. Now, the backend of Facebook is quite complicated, so I'm just going to give you the strategy, and I'm not going to get too technical here. So I'm only going to say to those that get this anyway, this is the only technical bit. If you use the ads manager to create your ad, you will need the power editor to do what I tell you next. For those that just want the strategy, hang in there. Here's the magic formula. And I always tell people there is no magic pill in life and in business. You may have heard me say this over and over again if you've watched my videos. But what I'm about to show you is really insightful and has core marketing strategies at heart. Highly effective stuff. There it is, people. I was in awe and somewhat shocked when people started sharing this ad and the sales started pouring in. It was just too much for my team, and we lost a few sales because we just never got back to everyone on time. Afterwards, I was sick for 2 weeks from overwork. My waiting list was 60 strong, and we just could not get to everyone. We just could not keep up with it. But it was completely euphoric. I remember lying in bed, sick but with a big grin on my face, and I only had a small inkling that was going to happen when I actually created this ad. I actually had to reverse engineer the formula. So let's quickly cover Facebook ads basics. That is what everyone else does. Step 1, create an ad. Step 2, pick up a group where your ideal prospects is lurking. Step 3, gradually increase spending on that ad. Here is where my approach is completely different. My first step is to list 5 of the biggest pain points of my prospects, the stuff that makes them want a solution for. If they don't have a problem, we don't have a sale as business owners. So in this case, download a solution for. This is what I call the pointed copy stage. Step 2, I select their biggest pain point out of those 5 that I've just drummed up for my audience. In my ad, that was not enough sales, by the way. Step 3, I create 3 ads around that pain point. So I'm just going to reiterate everything here so that you're with me. My first step is I'm going to list 5 of the biggest pain points of my prospects. And step 2, I'm going to select the biggest one. In my ad, in this case, it was not enough sales. Step 3, I'm going to create 3 ads around that one pain point. So around not enough sales, I'm going to create 3 ads around that. You'll see the ad I showed you has a lot of mention of fixing sales issues. Step 4, I will select one interest on Facebook. Not a whole bunch of them, just one interest. So one group of people that I think will need this solution, the one that I think will be the best fit for this. Okay. For example, we could run the ad against followers of Think and Grow Rich. You know the book, right? The Entrepreneur magazine and so on, to get access to small business owners. Step 5, I will run each of the free ads I created to that interest to see which ad converts the best. Okay, so I've created 3 ads out of one pain point, and I'm going to run all 3 ads against one interest, not a whole bunch of them, just one interest. That way I will find what ad is the best out of the 3 we created. Some people may think this is a bit complicated. Just reach out and I will help you. I can show you how to do this in 5 minutes. Okay, it's not complicated. It's just I think the media that we're using to communicate with you right now may make it sound a little bit complicated. Anyway, one ad will outperform the rest out of those 3 ads. And there you go. That's how I will get my best ad. It's from a testing process, which is what the big guys like Ryan Dye's digital marketer and all these guys, that they're spending millions on advertising. That's what they recommend doing. You test your way to your best ad. By the way, if you want to have a high converting ad and if we can work well together, all you got to do is click the button below. Okay, and that's exactly how I got a high ROI ad. The reason why, not by clicking the button below, but by following that testing process. The reason why it works is twofold. First, I try free ads, so I'm 3 times likelier to get a great ad, but the hidden reason lies elsewhere. Most advertisers only try one ad and give up. Most of them leave behind gold and move on to what looks like greener pastures. But the grass is always greener, right? If I have not completely lost you, here's a little bonus that will further increase how many customers you get. It is based on yet another mistake digital agencies make. You see, good things come out of mistakes, right? They put all interests in one basket. For example, in my case, I would have mistakenly advertised one ad to Entrepreneur Magazine followers, Tony Robbins followers, Think and Grow Rich followers, Financial Review, and 7 others at the same time. And this is what happens. Typically, only 1 or 2 of these interests you'll find will have high-paying prospects. But by advertising to all of them at the same time, I will never know which. So instead of advertising to a sample of 10,000 where all my prospects are, I do the stupid thing and advertise to 150,000 people and pay 15 times more for the same prospects. The right thing to do is to run the ad for $10. Not $10 a day, but just $10 against each of those 4 to 5 interests, one at a time. Only increase your spend once you have found the most profitable interest, the one from which customers and clients just pour down from the skies. Basically, if I'm showing my ad to followers of Tony and it is doing well, I know not to waste my money on the other interests on Facebook. Now, this makes a lot of money and a lot of customers for the least amount spent on your ads. It is a bit advanced, I know, and if you want this sort of powerful and high conversion advertising, we need to see if we can help create a winning ad to get your product in front of the right people that will want and need it. So click the button below the video and see if this is for you. Me, after the flood of clients from this simple but lethal ad, all I did was get sick for 2 weeks, then jump out of bed, book a limo, and take the missus to a $500 pop dinner, I think, chauffeured, showed her a good time, amongst other crazy things I did. But look, even if you are just starting out with Facebook advertising, there is no need to waste time and try to figure this out on your own experiment. When there are people like us that have already developed formulas, just click the button below and we can see if we're fit for each other.